This week I'm going to be making Utrom Shredder from the 2003 series, otherwise known as Chirel. So I have this old Terminator NECA figure, and I took off a bunch of the extra pieces that I won't need, but I'm going to save those because they'll be good to put on if I need to cyborg somebody. Then I saw he has a lot of screws, so I tried to take off his legs. One leg came off fine, the other leg broke when I was taking it off, so that's going to really change my plans because there's no way I can't just glue it on. I have to really get it in there. So I have Apoxie Sculpt now. So I first sculpted the head, and I put some foil on his shoulders and some of the places that I want to build up on, so I don't have to fill the whole area with Apoxie Sculpt because it's not cheap. And then I had to put a lot more on his crotch area to hold the leg in place that was broken because otherwise it would just fall off. But I mixed the two parts of the Apoxie Sculpt together, then you have a couple hours you could work, and then the next day it takes about 24 hours to dry, and you could sand it. I'm just using a nail file to sand it because it's great, it's flexible, you can get in little spots and stuff. Now I'm filling in any extra like cracks or bumps with spackling, and that only takes like 20 minutes to dry, and then I can sand it. But first I wanted to extend the spot around his waist that he's going to fit into, so I glued some pieces of toothpick and then pieces of cardboard, and then I put Epoxy Sculpt over that. And now I have a pewter gray, and I was going to paint them all, but I realized that I didn't put the clear coat on them yet, so I can only paint the Epoxy Sculpt and the spackling, and the pewter gray is pretty much the color of the Epoxy Sculpt, so I just painted the spackling spots. But then after I painted it, I could see there were a lot more spots I needed to get, so I got those with the spackling, and now I'm going again with the pewter gray over all the spackling spots, because sometimes, especially if it's just a white area, you don't really see what you need to do until you get some color on it, at least for me. And then I made some alterations to the gun that he came with to make it fit better in his hand and look more like a shredder gun. Anyway, now I'm covering everything with a matte acrylic varnish, and all the plastic areas that wouldn't have taken paint before, well, they didn't take paint before, now I can paint all those areas because the matte varnish works as my primer. So now I'm painting everything with the pewter gray, and I'm going to build up till I get to the color I want. So this, I need it to be darker, so I mixed some ash gray with some black, no, just ash gray with the gray I already had in there, just slightly darker gray. I'm going over all the dark areas because some spots like on his chest are going to be a lighter color, and you can see every once in a while the reference images I use pop up. Now I mixed gunmetal with black to get an even darker color because that wasn't dark enough, and also it's going to be metallic now because I'm mixing the metallic, and I'm getting all those spots. But I have these paints that I never used, but I've had a long time because they're airbrush paints, and I don't use my airbrush because it's too noisy. Now I mixed some steel into the same color I'd been using to get a lighter gray for the light gray spots, but also metallic. And I was looking to see if I had a green that I wanted for a future project, and I saw all these metal paints and I thought I could use them now. And that gray wasn't light enough, so I mixed some granite gray in with it to make it even lighter, and now it's the color I want. See, it kind of matches that. That's what I'm going for. Now I dry brush everything with just some plain silver and just a little bit on the brush. Wipe it off and then try to wipe it around as much as you can to get on all the little edges and stuff. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's just battle damage, and he wasn't going to be battle damaged until I broke the leg, and so now he's a little like wobbly and not wobbly, a little, he's got a lean on him, and you can't move that part of the legs. You can't move the hips anymore because I had to seal the hips. But yeah, that's how he became battle damaged. Now I have Milliput. This only takes like 4 or 5 hours to dry, and it's a different color, so that's why I sealed them up and got them all ready before I start with this. And I cut a bunch of little pieces of metal wire, and I put those in where I'm going to put the hands, and then use the tools to blend them in so it dries all together as one piece. But because there's a wire, it's got some extra support, and it's less likely to break off. So now I do the inside side of his eyes with a light blue, and I have a purple here, violet pansy. It didn't come out. I had to poke it with a toothpick, and then I thought that would be enough, what was on the toothpick, but I want to make him more battle damage, so I do the purple scar and then just a bunch of random little purple spots. Now to get the red that he is, I mixed a deep red with a fluorescent red. I think I came pretty close to the right color that I wanted, and I cover them all with that, but I don't go over the purple, the eye scar, but over all the other spots it just looks like darker spots where he's been bruised because he's battle damaged. And I do the pupils with an apple red, and I also got in the pupils of the what do you call that, not cyborg, the robot that he's in, because they weren't really red enough for me. Then I cover him, like all the spots that I just did, with the matte acrylic varnish, and now I cover all the metal and other spots that are already dry with the black wash, so it's just like 35% black paint and the rest water, and now he's done and ready. So he's from the 2003 series. This is a 2003 Leonardo that I customized. If he would stand up straight, I think that would be a good size, but he scales better with the Super 7. That's a different, same as it never was shredder, but he's the same shredder. And yeah, I like him with the Super 7. Got some more coming soon, so until then, remember, always keep your head up. Peace.